Hello there everybody, Sabar92 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Irae Amantes Amentes. In the last episode, well, actually it was the episode before, where we kind of got a good little, jump into the, Sakurai route. Got to see a few familiar scenes, as well as some added different ones. And now I guess we're just continuing where we left off. I'm gonna try to keep on, well, skipping the stuff that we've already seen because the text isn't colored, even though there are clearly similar scenes being played out. So, we also got to see Kaziklu Bey, aka Wilhelm, and he actually had a very interesting moment, showing that he may be a racist Nazi scumbag, but he's not stupid. By the time Kay left the club, it was already past midnight. Rusalka's promise to wait until Monday had long since passed. It might have already been too late, but she no longer had any intention of keeping it. She would not hand the school swastika over to her. Now, last time she kind of lured Kasumi over to the school, so I wonder what she's going to do now. Impatience had thrown her thoughts into complete disorder. Regardless of her desire not to hand over her territory to another, she felt an irresistible compulsion to head towards the school. She couldn't understand what that mysterious feeling was. Did it stem from her fear that Lady Samiel could very well execute her on the spot for the incompetence she had displayed over these past few days? Or was it something else entirely? Well, to be fair, you both had yourselves a little, wink wink nudge nudge blood sharing. That'd be weird. So technically you might have caught something? Her own words made her wince. Oh, wait a minute, that's right, they're superpowered. It was both exasperating and admirable how he kept worrying about so many people. She still couldn't believe he had fallen for her little trick so easily. She was aware of his dislike for her, and the feeling was certainly mutual, but in that case, why couldn't she just leave him be? Had he been simply a naive fool, that could be another matter. But from what she had seen so far, he appeared neither dim-witted nor insensitive to danger. Quite the contrary, in fact. Despite his apparent stupidity, she still couldn't get a good read on him. He couldn't have changed his mind about her just because they happened to exchange a word or two over the night, could he? Well, at any rate, he didn't matter at the moment. She had to hurry to the school as soon as possible. The place was hers to claim. She wouldn't hand it over to anyone, nor would she allow it to be destroyed. In that sense, she was lucky that they closed the school today. In that case, ordinary students wouldn't come, meaning they could avoid unnecessary deaths, which could allow Ren to fight with no reservations. Kay clicked her tongue, not knowing why her thoughts had gone down that path. Just then... There she is! There's Kasumi. This is going to play out the same as last time. Kay found herself taken aback for a second, confused by the other girl's presence. Okay, if this goes up into the discussion of karaoke, then I'm just going to have to cut a lot of that out.
彼は寝ているけど。そうなんだ。じゃあどうしようかな。実は私、明日っていうか今日だけど、学校に行こうと思うんだよね。え？
Why? It made no sense. The school was closed. What was she planning to do over there? Actually, why was she also drawn to the school?
それがね。なんだか行かなきゃいけないような気がしてさ。
Wait a minute.
よくわからないけど、どうしよっかなって思ってたら、メールがじゃんじゃか入ってきたのよ。
Wait a minute. Weren't they supposed to just go hang out together or something first? Or am I misremembering the time of events because... I'm pretty sure it was later that she brought up going to the school. There were easily over 30 texts displayed on Kasumi's phone. They were probably all from Kasumi's friends, yet despite each message being sent from a different person, they all contained the exact same text. I'm going to school tomorrow. See you there, Kasumi. Rusalka's doing her usual stuff.
もしかして一日で休校解除になっちゃったのかな。ねえ、どう思う？桜井さん。パイドパイパー。え？ハーメルンの笛吹きって知ってる？うん、 それって童話だよね。どんな内容なのかは知らないけど、それがどうかしたの？いや。
Indeed, the title was famous, but surprisingly few knew the actual story. Oh wait, we already know how the Pied Piper actually goes. I'm just kind of looking around seeing if there's actually... the witch known as Rusalka. They were already under her spell. Didn't matter whether school was closed or not. Those who had come into contact with her even once were being drawn to her by an irresistible force only to be imprisoned. Now here's the question, what does Sakurai do here? All were drawn to the witch's hunting grounds, at the bottom of a cold, dark lake. Indeed, the Walpurgisnacht, where the Walmart had already begun. Its sacrifices summoned in droves. However, at the very least, there was still a chance to bring her to her senses. There was nothing stopping her from releasing one out of hundreds, and that wouldn't cause the stigmata implanted in Kei's body to react. And so, the fate of the girl before her was now in Kei's hands. A single word from her could decide between life and death for Kasumi.
どうしたの？難しい顔して。やっぱり桜井さんってば怒ってる？私があんまりしつこく疑うから気分悪くしちゃったのかな。
So what's she going to do?
いや、本当にごめんね。蓮の彼女だからとかそんなの関係なしにしても、私桜井さんと仲良くなりたいし、だから嫌われると痛いなっていうか。へこむなっていうか。ねえ、ごめんってば。
平気よ。
本当？
ええ、別に気にしてないわ。
Indeed, Kei wasn't really bothered. It didn't matter what happened to this girl or how Fuji felt about the whole thing. People had their priorities. Sentimental notions of being able to save everyone didn't apply in the real world. Kei knew that better than anyone, which is why she...
行きましょう、綾瀬さん。藤井君には私が後で連絡を入れるから。
Nope, she's still going to the school.
そう？だったら女同士朝まで一緒に遊ぼうよ。
Yep, it's about the same. Yep, Swastika's 4 out of 8. Chapter 8, Pied Piper End. I just like that little that screen transition. It's actually pretty cool.
眠いぞ。
Stretching her arms, Kasumi let out a hearty yawn as she stood in front of the school gates the next morning.
やっぱ朝までカラオケオールは無茶だったかな。さすがにちょっと喉が痛いや。
Once again, the same. Alright, let's see if anything here is different.
落ち着きなさいよ。ここであまり気合い入れると一瞬で吸い殺されちゃうわよ、あなた。
Okay, this is about the same.
吸い殺す。
そう。
Rusalka heaved a tired sigh and glanced outside the window where a dramatic change had occurred. Oh, we already know, it's all nice and dark. Show me the blood moon! The sun had grown dark and dusky. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, yet the blue sky suddenly gave way for the orange of early evening.
私も迷惑してるのよ。あいつの想像、敵味方関係なしだし。
お前じゃない。
そうよ。見ればわかるでしょ。
Show it to me. There it is, and we shall now dance in the velvet moon. The sun set and vanished in a second, turning the world into a realm of eternal night in the blink of an eye. A silvery full moon with no regard for the lunar calendar covered the sky, with the putrid stench of rot and blood lingering everywhere. Kei spotted black jelly-looking lumps, likely the remnants of congealed blood and rotten flesh slithering across the floor and walls of the building. It was like the nauseating world of a night stalker. In that instant, Kei realized the identity of its master. Wilhelm Ehrenberg. This world belonged to him, but then why?
待ちなさい。
What, changes? Rusalka stood still and raised her hand as if commanding Kei to stop before she broke off into a run.
言ったでしょ。ここで野蛮なことを考えちゃダメ。心拍数と血の流れを調節してアドレナリンを抑えなさい。あいつに言わせればせいぜいまずそうな女になるのよ。ここでベイをそそっちゃうと一瞬で食われるわ。
A perplexing remark, but at the very least it didn't seem like Rusalka meant Kay any harm. Why else would she be telling her how to protect herself?
お前はここをベイに譲ったのか。
そういうわけでもないけど、
Rusalka ran her fingers through her hair in a display of irritation.
私は私で手一杯なの。慣れないことはするもんじゃないわね。
Following Rusalka's gaze, Kay froze in place. Kane.
いくら私があなたたちよりキャリアが深いって言ってもね、他人の生物なんてそうそう簡単に扱えないのに。だから自己流でちょっと改造しちゃったけど。
Kay was no longer listening to Rusalka. Her thoughts had come to a complete halt. A giant abomination towered in the yard outside, impassive like a sculpture. Countless shadows bound his arms and legs, connecting back all the way to Rusalka.
まあ操縦はこんな感じ。私じゃバビロンのやってたことの2割もできないから、足りないところは創意工夫でね。でもその代わりメリットだってあるんだよ。この方法なら遠隔操作も可能だし、好きだらけな姿を敵にさらすこともない。
This seems to be the same, again.
ザミエルが蒸発させちゃったみたい。
Ah, this is different. No, impossible. She could feel her surroundings suddenly grow dim. Lisa passed away? Lisa was dead? And what of him? What would happen to him? With their necromancer gone from their ranks, Kane was now little more than another dead body. It would rot, fall apart, and disappear. It was unlikely he could hold out for more than another couple of days.
クリストフは転んでもただじゃ起きないっていうか、本当に転んだのかどうかもわかんないけど、要は有効利用したいんでしょ。どうせ近々消えると言っても、それまで遊ばせとくのは惜しいからね、あの化け物ちゃん。
She could probably read Kay like an open book from her expression, so she addressed her in a lightly mocking tone.
まあそんな感じでね。ビッテンブルグ少佐殿がやらかしてくれちゃったから、急な人事異動で困ってるのよ。だからあなたの遅刻は多めに見てあげるわ。
Major Wittenberg.
言ったように私は私で忙しいし、あなたも来てくれたから仕事をあげる。
Hmm?
仕事。
Bewilderment still running amok in her mind, Kay was unable to comprehend Rusalka's words right away, to which the redhead replied with a grimace and a tired sigh.
この子がさ、なんかしんないけど来ちゃったみたいで。
Oh, you mean, Himuro? There she is. Irae Himuro. Why would she be in a place like this?
冗談じゃない。
All the anger and confusion Kay had been suppressing up until now came bursting to the surface.
あなた何を考えてるの。今ここがどうなっているか。
Did that fool have a death wish? What did she think would happen if she died here?
あるいは自殺しに来たのかもね。
マレウス。
She couldn't help raising her voice at the witch's carefree tone. Rusalka, however, simply waved her away.
まあいいじゃない。面白いわよ。死のうと思って簡単に死ねるほど世の中甘くできてないし。メルクリウスがどれだけ性格悪いやつか、あなたもこの子も分かってないのよ。ハイドリ秘境も含めてあの二人が死なないって言えば、それは死ねないってのと同じ意味。なんだったらそこから外に放り投げてみれば、多分大丈夫よ。とは言っても実際面倒なお荷物ではあるわけで。
You mean torturing students? She was simply frustrated and felt utterly pathetic. She had made use of his kindness to lure his beloved friend to this killing field, and lost sight of her right away. If she could at least answer his anger with blade in hand, to engage him in a bout to the death, it would still be something. Yet now, robbed of even that option, she simply had no idea how to handle the emptiness tormenting her heart. She wanted someone, anyone, to punch her till she could stand no more, to punish her for what she'd done, to dispel all the frustration raging within her chest. She just wanted to forget everything in rage, tearing and destroying everything like a wild, senseless beast.
めんどくさい子だね、あなた。
Funny coming from you. Kay didn't even feel like getting angered by the pitying look the girl was giving her. She simply bit her lip and trembled in humiliation.
Chapter 9.
Einherjar. The only reason I know how to pronounce that is thanks to this Riviera game that I played. It took until morning for me to regain consciousness.
まあまあ、そういつまでも自己嫌悪してないで。ヒーロー。
Ever since we left the club to investigate the school premises, Honjo had been unable to shut her mouth about this.
だから色仕掛けなんか食らってないって言ってるだろ。
じゃあ何食らったの？
それは
言えないような手なら色仕掛けみたいなもんでしょ。
She let out a cackle and patted me on the shoulder. Whoops, I did not click that. Well, I guess she was right in a sense. I wouldn't exactly call that seduction, but the logic was the same. God, I wish she could just stop talking about it already.
それで彼女らはここに行ったのかな？
That answer should be obvious.
多分な。
We stood in front of the gates of Tsukinasawa High. I couldn't think of any other places where Kasumi and Sakurai could have chosen to go together. I can't believe she kidnapped Kasumi of all people. My chest was awhirl with a tempest of anger, frustration, and guilt, but now wasn't the time to wallow in emotions. If Kasumi was here, all I had to concentrate on was saving her and taking any enemies out that might stand in my way. Beyond these gates, I would likely be met with a full-blown battlefield.
オッケー。じゃあ行こっか。
Wait, where's Shiro? As the two came back in the morning and learned of the situation, they actually used rock, paper, scissors to decide who to accompany me on the search for Kasumi. Apparently, they had some pressing business to take care of that required at least one of them. Oh, this is immensely different. And so, Honjo won and tagged along with me. I'd say Shiro was the better option, but I'd be lying. They were both the same, really.
ん？どうした？この格好かわいい。
Oh, I just now realized that you're wearing a school uniform. I wasn't paying attention. It was just... Well, why did she have my school's uniform anyway?
月学の制服はマニアックで有名だからさ。入手経路はいろいろあるのよ。
Gross? A bunch of ways to end up at the precinct, more like. I made a sigh as Honjo began fiddling with her skirt, subtly flashing her underwear in my direction.
知らねえぞ。そんな薄手のひらひら着ててどうなっても。
アクションでパンツ見えるくらい、私気にしないし。
I kinda mind. Please don't.
俺もパンツなんかどうでもいいけど。それ隠す場所がないだろ。バレ。
A huge revolver had been tucked awkwardly into one of her knee socks. I didn't know much about guns and couldn't tell exactly what type that was, but it definitely didn't seem like something a girl should be waving around.
堂々としてれば意外と誰も気にしないもんだって。それからこの制服可愛いのはいいけど、やっぱ寒いね。
Is that a
デ
shot
ザ
at
イ
the
ンしたやつ
artist?
かなり切れたセンス持った変人でしょ。
Is that just like a subtle slap at the artist, or just school uniforms in general?
知るか。興味ない。
Well, Ren kind of answered that one, didn't he? Honjo slid a finger through the hole in her uniform's shoulder area and began shaking to over-exaggerate the coldness of the weather. I'd had enough of her antics by that point. Okay, so this is immediately different. Now we've got Honjo instead of Shiro. It was hard to tell if she was full of spite, or just relied on her carefree attitude to dispel the tension, but no amount of playfulness would help us past this point.
お前、本当にいいんだな。
さっき OK って言ったでしょ。
Wonder if we can see her fight. Well, fine. If that was what she wanted, then so be it. I knew I needed to watch her back, she being Shiro's woman and all, but I only had one pair of arms and no means of cloning myself. Yet. My job was to fight, not to guard her. Only I had a chance against either Sakurai or Rusalka. In short, Honjo's job would be to survey the area and look for Kasumi.
わかってるって。私は白よりまだなんぼか常識あるよ。
That's debatable. I really hope that was the case. We'd have a pretty big problem if it wasn't. Maybe, yeah, that certainly would be.
はい。手出して。
You mean a fist bump? She raised a hand at her chest level. Understanding what she was meaning to do, I gave her fist a nudge with my own. Or at least I tried to.
いやチン。
The hell did she retract her hand for? I ended up ramming my fist into her breasts.
いい思いして。気合入ったでしょ。
No, it made me hit my knee on my desk.
つーか気合が抜ける。
じゃあうまい具合にリラックスしたと考えよう。
No.
女のおっぱいは偉大。
No comment.
でかい声でわめくな。
無事帰ったら生乳。
No.
黙れセクハラ女。
Exactly. Please stop. Ugh. Vile woman. And so, with her probably trying to cheer me on, we passed through the gates. That moment. I didn't even know how to describe it. I felt as if we'd passed through a warm membrane of some sort. I felt my body instantly grow heavier. I had trouble breathing. What the hell was going on here? I shook my head, hoping to get this sudden lightheadedness away as Honjo addressed me from behind.
レン君、あれ見て。
I turned around to see the velvet moon. The giant disk of a full moon hanging in the sky. Its ominous reddish light pierced through my skin like needles. I shuddered from the cold, feeling inexplicable exhaustion take a hold of my body. More importantly,
なんで
Honjo dangled her left wrist in front of my eyes. The watch on it said 8:30 a.m.
今日は満月の日じゃないのにね。ここは夜で月が丸い。多分いつでも。待って。
Honjo grasped my hand as I tried to take a step back outside through the gates.
やめた方がいい。わかんないけど、出て戻れなかったらどうすんの？
Good question.
No.
Yeah, she was right. No matter how you looked at it, there was something wrong with this place. It probably wouldn't let me leave, and even if it did, not being able to come back in would be even worse.
外側からじゃ何も変わってなかったのにね。
The world changed the moment we took a step through the gates. A dark night enveloped us in the middle of an early morning.
心当たりある？
None. I never knew it was even possible to cause something like this. If I had something to liken it to, then it seemed kind of equivalent to the beach that Marie dwelled in, suddenly manifesting in the real world. How could one even do such a thing? Nothing made sense to me in here. Well, good. This is DS Irae. You're not supposed to make sense of anything. The most unrealistic thing makes you the most powerful.
悪い。役立たずだ。
そう。でもまあ、悲観しないで。
Onjo gave me a smile as she patted me on the back. I couldn't see the usual carefreeness in that curl of the lips. Just managing to force a confident face in a place like this was already quite an achievement as far as I was concerned. She was no damsel in distress material.
死ぬの生きるの人生劇場を見て育ったからね。多少のことじゃビビんないよ。レン君は平気？
ああ、俺は大丈夫。
This inexplicable exhaustion was a bit of a problem, though. I had no idea what was going on, but I felt dizzy and short of breath, as if I'd suddenly been brought to the summit of a large mountain or something. Both my hands and feet had grown numb. I wasn't even sure if I could form a proper fist.
歯をこうやって口から息して。あとはそうだね。切れないこと。心拍数上げるとやばいよ。
I obeyed her calm voice. I didn't know if her suggestions would be of any use, but at the very least, taking a deep breath made me calm down a little. They said that a positive attitude was the best medicine after all.
行くぞ。
はいな。
And so we stepped into the shroud of darkness waiting for us beyond the door. I was prepared for battle. I couldn't say I got used to either killing others or risking my own life, but I could at least face it as an inescapable fact. Still, the situation seemed far worse than I had ever imagined. I had a very bad feeling about this, Kasumi. I felt as if there was more dread and despair waiting for me beyond those doors than anything. I had lived through till this point. My bad. Dramatic pause.
さて、こりゃどこ行っても同じだね。
We explored the school, thoroughly investigating each room from the first floor to the fourth. The place remained shrouded in darkness, without a single ray of light finding its way inside. I felt just as exhausted as before, with my strength slowly seeping out of my body, as if being siphoned out by some invisible power. Still, there was one thing we luckily managed to discover.
とりあえずさっきはありがとな本長。
まあ私のここはちょっと敏感だからね。
She pointed at her nose and made Irae smile. Okay, so she's got a super sense of smell too. If she hadn't told me to breathe through my mouth, I might have already been done for by this point. The black jelly-like things slithering around were remnants of blood and flesh that seemed to have been rotting here for hundreds of years. Even though I'd begun breathing through my mouth, their disgusting smell was turning my brain to mush. I probably would have gone insane the moment I took a lungful of his rotten air through my nose.
ブラド・テテシドラクル公。500年前のルーマニアの王様はオスマントルコと戦争した時、捕虜を何千人も串刺しにして国の街路にさらしたらしいよ。
You mean Vlad
しかも
Tepes
そ
of
のまま
Wallachia?
何年も超放置。当時のトランシルバニアはきっとこんなんだったんだろうね。そりゃブラムストーカーもネタにするわ。
And suddenly I want to try to sound like Alucard the entire time. Honjo didn't exactly spell it out, but she already had a guess as to who was responsible for this. Clearly scrolling. And so did I, of course. Any fool would realize the nature of this place upon setting foot inside. The school had transformed into a vicious hunting ground for a beast ruled by an aggressive, insatiable lust for flesh. A demonic paradise of blood. Its only spectator, the full moon perched in its skies of eternal darkness. And who else would lord over a realm like this in a vampire? Oh, god damn it. Get out of the freaking... Can you guys tell I've been watching a little bit too much Hellsing Ultimate?
ビルヘルム。
He was here. So this time I had to prepare not only for Sakurai and Rusalka, but for him as well. And I had the feeling he was the most dangerous of them all.
まあ言ったね。私あいつが苦手なんだよ。
He's not very nice, is he? She ruffled her hair.
なんていうか単純に怖い。得体が知れないのは神父だし、ギャップが気持ち悪いのはルサルカで、強いと思うのは死体野郎だけどさ。あいつはこううまく言えないけど、向かい合うと緊張するじゃん。
同感だ。
That psycho was an amalgamation of malice and raw bloodlust. Meeting him in battle meant a fight to the death with no alternatives. And as such, no petty tricks would work on him. I didn't even mean Honjo, who had yet to find a weapon that could be effective against them. Even for me, who was still inferior as far as sheer strength and experience were concerned, Wilhelm was likely the worst opponent to fight. We couldn't possibly beat him in a straight fight, yet it didn't seem like he did any, other kind.
こりゃあかすみちゃんを早いとこ引っさらって逃げた方がいいかもよ。桜井ちゃんから聞いた話じゃ、戦場にならないとスワスチカは開かないんでしょ。
そうだが。
However, there was one thing I couldn't get out of my mind.
本当にここには俺たちしかいないと思うか。
No.
え？
そうあってほしいとは思うし、そうでなきゃ最悪だけど、最近は楽観主義ができなくなってな。
Yeah. Positivity is not good in DS Irae. Their main objective might indeed have been to lure and fight us here. But what if we decided to ignore them? Would they just sit here for days waiting for us? I couldn't imagine them being so ludicrous. And here I am just trying to imagine them all just kind of sitting around a table, Wilhelm just trying to play Go Fish, and then they switch to poker and realize that none of them have a good poker face except for maybe Sakurai. And then they get pissed off at her and they start throwing the cards at her.
俺が来ても来なくても、どうなろうと対処できるようにするのが普通だろう。ビルヘルムはそんなこと考えなくても、ルサルカは。
I couldn't imagine such a detail escaping that sly bitch. If this place didn't become a battlefield, she just turned it into an execution grounds.
なるほどね。でもざーっと回ってみた結果、人っ子一人いなかったよ。
Well, we could look out the window over here and see a bunch of children that are getting ready to be possibly slaughtered by Cain, considering that's what happened last time.
ここが普通の場所に見えるか。
Fair point.
いや全然。もしかしたら忍者屋敷並みの仕掛けが働くかもしれないし、例えば壁の中、天井裏とか地面の下とか、侵入者を飲み込むことができるんだったら。
それとも目に映る景色を実際とは違うように歪めて見せることができるとしたら。
Okay, very stupid question considering if Wilhelm's creation figment is basically worse inside of his stomach, you think he'd get upset if we brought maybe something spicy to give himself some heartburn? I know it probably wouldn't work, but it's just a stupid idea I had. And they might as well have been hiding the 500 students of this school somewhere out of our sight. Now you guys see why if I was in these situations I'd probably be the first to die.
けど確かめる方法はない。
答えがわからないなら用だけ済ませて逃げるわけにもいかない。
Just put it on my grave. He died as he lived. Stupid.
ああ、ジーザス。さあ困った。
Just the sudden English. Jesus.
いきなり攻撃してくる気配もないしな。
Though, it also made me curious, why would Wilhelm let us run free inside a place that might as well have been his belly? Was he waiting for something? But what else was there? Was it a trap? Or a gunshot to signal the start of battle?
こっちから探ったりはできないの？
Maybe.
さっきからやろうとはしてるんだけどな。
Sensing another's killing intent, or the impeding storm after the calm was far beyond my capabilities. If that was what she wanted to know, my senses might have grown keener, but I was still no match for war-trained soldiers, one of whom I was trying to find now. However, giving up was not an option.
少し真剣にやってみる。しばらく話しかけないでくれ。
了解。じゃあ周り見てるから集中して。
When things were peaceful, all she did was joke around, but now that things had taken a turn for the serious, she seemed both collected and quick on her feet. No wonder Shiro saw something in her. She was a fine woman.
全部型がついたら飯でもおごるよ。
私、割と舌が肥えてるよ。
Oh god.
大病院の院長令状だもんな。
I gave her an ironic smile before closing my eyes to focus my senses. Wilhelm. All animals had a sense of territory, and humans were no exception. Anyone would feel uncomfortable if someone they didn't like invaded their personal space. Just like how people prefer to sit a few seats apart in a cafeteria, or how they chose the urinals furthest away from those occupied. They would always unconsciously try to maintain distance from their kin whenever they could. And apparently, it was young men who needed the most personal space. Well, I know, I don't need somebody staring at my junk whenever I'm at a urinal or anything like that. It's just very unprofessional and very personal. Then what about me? What constituted my usual territory? I couldn't tell if it was a good or a bad thing, but I felt quite certain of the fact that I needed more personal space than most. I mean, Kasumi had already called me asocial, and I barely had any friends. I wonder if I disliked anyone being close to me. As I closed my eyes, I could feel it with my skin. Honjo standing next to me, not even a meter apart. I could sense her breathing, heartbeat, and mental state. I widened the radius further. 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters. My territory extended like a sphere, both to the left and right, up and down. A, B, select. I created my pocket world inside the Wilhelm's realm. His will, of course, resisted my intrusion, and my realm extended at a snail's pace at best, but I could still feel the area of my perception widen. And so...
どうした？
Honjo eyed me as I jerked my head up. My sudden movements must have surprised her, but right now I felt more astounded than her.
先輩。
ん？
氷室先輩がいる。
それは本当に？
気のせいじゃない。
Nope. Yeah, she's here. She was on the 3rd floor right below us. We must have checked that room just a couple of minutes ago and found it empty, yet I could sense her quite clearly over there now. There was just no way I could mistake Rhea Himuro for someone else. She was one of the very few people I cared about just as much as Kasumi, if not even more.
一人？
わからね
I spotted her only because she was a regular person. I extended my senses, which weren't even that keen to begin with, to a wide area, so I doubted I could detect any of those warmongers unless they themselves wished to be found.
けど無事ではいると思う。
You think or you know? She seemed calm and self-possessed, her head full half in the clouds, as usual. In any case, it didn't feel like she was either fleeing from someone or being confined. As such, there was only one thing to do.
行くぞ本庄。あの人を確保する。
Alright, time to wreck some shit! Why the hell not? Why was she here? How was she related to those maniacs? This wasn't exactly the best time for long-winded discussions, but I also couldn't just abandon her.
私らを連れ去ってことはないのかな。
Well, that goes without saying. Yeah, I could guess that much myself. That possibility was high, and us getting into a heap of trouble even higher. Nonetheless,
俺は行くぞ。誰がなんて言っても。
はいはい。私も行ってみただけ。
I wonder if you'd be able to see Honjo fight. That's an idea. We gave each other a nod and dashed through the corridor. I jumped down the stairs to the third floor in a single leap.
で、どこ？
I raised my hand and pointed at one of the rooms in silence.
4組。
俺のクラスだ。
Mine and Kasumi's and Shiro's, and Sakurai's and Rusalka's.
そりゃまた随分と濃いメンツで。
I know, right? I bet she'd feel just at home in it. The school was the closest place I had to a normal life, and also the first of my safe havens to be destroyed. Just a group of 40 or so students laughing and getting angry at each other, studying and falling in love, chatting and playing around. A kind of peaceful, boring daily life you could come across practically everywhere. I'd hoped I could live out the rest of my life surrounded by that mundane bliss. Yet, it was abruptly and cruelly taken away from me. The door opened with a repulsive creak, revealing a certain girl.
藤井君。
Hello there, Sonenkind. Irae Himuro. Once our senior in school, and now a tiny ticking bomb, whose position in all of this I still couldn't quite discern. Depending on her answers, I might end up having to fight her as well. My thoughts gave way for sheer anxiety as I saw her, prompting me to let my guard down. Oh, there you are! Sakurai, I would have been lying if I said my thoughts didn't freeze when I saw her emerge from the classroom after Himuro. If she had attacked me right then, I would have been dead in an instant.
いやー、桜井ちゃん。私に何の断りもなく帰るなんてひどいじゃない。
Honjo took a step forward with a smile, as if trying to cover me while I was still dumbfounded. Her voice betrayed no hint of surprise or anxiety. She likely expected there to be someone watching over Himuro.
私はそっちの先輩と面識ないし、彼よりだいぶ薄情だからね。餌は食っても釣られやしないよ。で、お二人さんはここで何をしてるのかな。あなた、誰？エリーと申しますです。テレジア先輩。この場は遊佐四郎の名代と思ってちょうだい。
I know. Kind of a nice little change of pace.
遊佐くんの？彼は元気？元気は元気だけど、あいつはあいつでいろいろね。まあ近いうち合わせるよ。それって。
She returned her gaze to Sakurai as I, too, finally came back to my senses.
悪いな本庄。もう大丈夫だ。
うん、気にしない。そこが蓮くんのいいところ。
I took a step forward, letting Honjo step back instead. With Sakurai in this place, it was a bad idea to let her stand in the front unprotected.
先輩はまあ後で話そう。とりあえず無事そうで安心しました。
藤井くんも。
ええ。それで桜井。
The emotions I'd been suppressing up until now erupted all at once, filling my eyes with rage. Not even my consideration for Himuro and Honjo could stop me from staring daggers at Sakurai. To tell the truth, my blood had been boiling since last night. I was frustrated with my own naivete, my own stupidity, as well as the woman who dared kidnap Kasumi from right under my nose.
あいつはどこだ桜井。答えないと。
Kill you right here and now. I might have grown to know her better during these past few days, but my anger at that moment far outweighed any sympathy I might have built for her. I ignored Himuro's bemused stare. Honjo must have said something as well, but I paid no attention to it. My gaze remained fixated on Sakurai and her alone. Depending on her answer, I might very well attack her right here and now. Therefore,
ごめんなさい。
her words left me surprised, and I forgot my anger for a moment.
ここであなたに答えられたらいいんだけど、今の私はそれもできない。笑ってちょうだい。今日この場の戦いから私は弾かれてしまったの。あなたの気持ちに答えられない。
それは
What the hell is she talking about? She lost her will to fight me all of a sudden? What the fuck? That wasn't my problem!
殺されるわけにはいかないけど、それ以外なら何をしてもいいわよ。
To be fair, I can already hear Honjo saying giggity in the back.
あなたの気が済むのなら何だって。
まあ待った。
Honjo grasped my shoulder with a firm hand as I was about to blow up in rage and frustration.
仮にも女の子ちゃんが何してもいいとか言うのはどうかって話は置いといて、あんたまだ彼の質問に答えてないね。かすみちゃんはどこ？私同性の友達少ないからあの犬っぽい子が気に入ってるんだけど。
Okay, apparently Kasumi is puppy.
それは
Next time I ever get a puppy, I'll name it Kasumi. Sakurai fixed her eyes on the floor and fell silent. After a few seconds, though, she suddenly jerked her head up again.
知らない。私は綾瀬さんがどこにいるかなんて聞かれても答えられない。
ここにいないのか。
いいえ、ついさっきまで一緒にいた。でも知らないうちにいなくなった。今のここは私の感覚が及ぶ世界じゃないの。
So, Honjo, being quicker on her feet, voiced my thoughts before I could.
ビルヘルムだね。
ええ、さっき私はあなたたちに見つけられやすいようにしただけ。レイが隠す気になっているなら隠されたものはここにいる限り誰にも探せない。
Well, to be fair, we kind of already know where she is. Rusalka's got her.
なんであいつが霞を隠す？
わからないわよ。
その注意殿はどこに？
わからない。いいえ。
Sakurai slowly looked around.
今はこの学校自体が彼。どこにでもいるし、どこからでも出てくる。私たちの位置も会話も全て筒抜けになってるはずよ。
吸血鬼の腹の中ね。どうするレン君。あんたは桜井ちゃんを締め上げたいだろうけど、そういう状況でもそれで肩がつくわけでもなさそうな感じだよ。
わかってる。
I swore never to trust that jackass again, but it really didn't seem like she was lying this time. In any case, our main objective here wasn't to teach her a lesson, as much as I wished it was.
もうお前のことなんかどうでもいい。やる気がないならどこかその辺で寝てろ。
そうなの。
He grimaced, but as I'd said before, I was beyond caring. I had to find where Kasumi was, and then...
先輩、今のここに。
あ、それは。
Rusalka killed them, didn't they?
Yeah, maybe.
Her eyes widened as I seized her by the shoulders, pulling her close.
教えてくれ先輩。他の生徒はいるのかいないのか。
She looked away from me and fell silent, ignoring my question. Wasn't it? That was actually her way of answering it.
俺は。
I followed her gaze outside, where I could see one silhouette after another pop up in the yard. Faces both familiar and new, both guys and girls, everyone from my year.
始まる。
Sakurai's voice felt distant. I could tell there were about 200 people in the yard by now. Some were dressed in uniform, some in casual clothes, and some even in pajamas. All of them seemed completely out of it.
かすみちゃんは？
I couldn't. I think I looked through everyone over there, and she didn't seem to be among them. With her there or not, this certainly didn't seem like a good sign.
見て、あれ。
Honjo's voice rang uncharacteristically urgent. I followed her finger with my gaze to see a giant frame looming in the center of the yard, with students surrounding it. A genuine monster if I'd ever seen one.
Kai?
Double gain! If that thing was here, did it mean Sister Lisa was also around?
ダメだ。もう遅い。
Honjo's voice trailed off. Sakurai looked away while Himuro simply shivered in my grasp. I merely gazed at the spectacle before me, completely dumbfounded. There was simply nothing I could do from here. Kane swung the giant lump of metal in his hands. Much like in the club, it erupted in purple lightning, swallowing 100 or so students in the blink of an eye, leaving nothing but bloody smoke and burnt flesh in their place. Himuro wrapped her hands around my back and pressed against me to block my vision, as if thinking she could escape this nightmare by merely refusing to acknowledge its existence. But it was too late. Her frame was much too small to cover my eyes. Some of the pieces of meat and entrails of what used to be my schoolmates were flung so hard they reached up to the 3rd floor, splattering against the window in front of us. I could make out a severed hand, the piece of a leg stuck against the window frame. That red mush was probably the remains of someone's heart. The thing that looked like a blown-up balloon must have been a lung. I even spotted a jaw and eyeball, a torn-off scalp with hair still clinging to it, as well as half a face, all destroyed beyond recognition. They all gave me condemning looks.
Why didn't you come here earlier? Why was a bastard like you in our school anyway? If you had never been around, we would have never ended up like this.
Oh. I could practically hear my mind crumble. My whole world was falling apart. My day-to-day life, a place for me to return to. Why did a depraved fool like me ever delude himself into thinking he could protect them? Sheer frustration made my tears flow, but I was unable to stop them. I'd barely even known the faces of those massacred students, and that weighed the heaviest upon my soul. It felt like an insult to their memory.
Crying!
I shoved Himuro aside and rammed my fist into the window glass, yet I lacked the strength to even shatter something as thin as that. The window remained intact, as if mocking me for being completely powerless, as if telling me I could never save anyone. That I was just another sacrifice brought here to rot and be turned into sludge. I let out a deafening scream from the very bottom of my heart, cursing the name of my mortal enemy. I'd make him pay. I'd kill him. Kane too, and the priest, and Rusalka, and then Sakurai, and that accursed Sister Lisa as well. Kinda late for that, she's already dead.
てめえら俺とやりたいなら勝ってやる。つまらねえ雑魚殺して越に行ってんじゃねえぞ、腰抜け野郎。いい度胸だ。
And that's where, unfortunately, I'm going to end it. Unfortunately, I actually had to end up skipping quite a... Actually, you know what? Let's keep the file that, because that's going to be probably what it's going to be focused on. Okay, so we got a little bit of some changes here. This time, Sakurai doesn't seem very willing to fight, though if I tried attacking Kane, she probably would end up fighting, if I had to take a guess. Now, it makes me wonder what's going to change now. She seems pretty much reluctant to even do anything. So the only enemies that I really have to worry about unless she actually does something are Kane, Rusalka, and Wilhelm. And I don't think Honjo's up to the task of facing off against Wilhelm or anybody at this point. Unless she's, about as skilled as Shiro, which, first off, that'd be pretty badass. But I don't know. Color me curious. I'm kind of curious to see how this goes. And I'm sorry that I'm ending it as it is right now, but let's just say I've got a little bit of a side project that I'm currently working on. But anyway, that's where I'm ending it. So, if you guys like this, be sure to let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I can't wait to see what happens next. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hello there everybody, Sabato92 here, and if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you guys like my content, then maybe you'd like to check out another channel who I think deserves equal attention. So click that nightmare emblem and check out that channel, or go to the links in the description down below. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.